Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson is poised to become the chairman of the Senate Committee on Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs. That will be next month when the new Congress is sworn in. The senator is in Milwaukee today and taking a few minutes to talk with us. Senator, thank you so much for being here, and
Vince,
thanks for stopping by. Well, there's no shortage of things to talk about today. I guess let's start off with Cuba and the revelation that the United States was for the last year and a half in these secret negotiations to normalize relations with that country. If you can, your reaction to that, and then how you see it impacting everyday Americans.
Well, this is a significant policy shift, and it's a type of policy change that President Obama should have been consulting with Congress on. And you can kind of see the immediate reaction, both pro and con. I don't think it had to be that way. You know, I think most people agree that at 50 years of this policy hasn't worked, but the question is, did it not work because it's bad policy, or we're dealing with some really bad, evil people? I think it's probably that, and what I'm afraid is going to happen is by opening things up, flooding more dollars in there, you're just actually increasing the power of the Castros to create mayhem in the hemisphere.
And this doesn't necessarily tie everything up in a neat bow. There is still more business in terms of lifting the trade embargo. That is a congressional thing, correct?
Well, hopefully.
Well,
but I mean, President Obama's done a pretty good job of trying to circumvent, duly passed laws of Congress, which is part of the problem.
Let me ask you about the Sony Pictures thing, especially given Homeland Security and the implications that we have on that. First of all, the extent to maybe the fact that we all feel vulnerable now to hackers of any kind, and then your reaction to the fact that these theaters have pulled the movie, that Sony decided not to air the film, and the impact and what that says about us.
Well, it's very disturbing. This is a real threat to America. Our cyber assets are being attacked daily, hourly, almost every minute, and we need some strong cyber protection here, and it will start, and we haven't been able to do this in Congress, but it starts with allowing the private sector to share information with the government, who really has some very good cyber capabilities, but that sharing has not been made possible because, I'm sorry, the folks on this side of the aisle refuses to provide the liability protection for business so they can share that information without threat of lawsuits. So right now, Democrats are holding cybersecurity hostage, really protecting trial lawyers, and that's a real shame. That's the first step. Universally, when we ask witnesses, what's the first step we need to take to secure cyber assets in this country? It's that information sharing. Hopefully, this will highlight that problem. We can get that, take that first step. To
what extent did you view the threats of terrorism on movie theaters to be a credible, actionable threat?
Probably not overly credible, but I certainly understand why private company, why those movie theaters, because if something were to happen, they would be blamed, not taking every precaution. But, we've got to continue to live our lives. We are under threat of Islamic terrorism, extreme violence. And if we allow that to freeze our way of life, then the terrorists have won. So we've got to continue on with our lives, but we need to take these cyber threats very seriously.
All right, Senator, thanks so much for your time today. Glad to see you, and stop by anytime.
Have happy holidays.
All right, thank you.